look, we have a budget crisis in the state of Iowa. These folks have led us to the point where we are spending $1.3 billion per year more than we are taking in. Our situation overall, I would call a fiscal time bomb, because we have a surplus, but that fuse on the surplus is burning off at the rate of $1 billion a year. And when that ends in 2 years, 18 months, 2.5 years, we're going to have a real budget crisis on our hands. One of the number one things that we can do for public education in Iowa is protect and prepare for that. We should be doing that right now by making sure that we are going to, when we hit that point, be able to maintain the investments that we have in public education.
Okay. So help me understand this, guys. Maybe I'm a dum-dum. I've been called it before. But we have this financial crisis coming. And I like I said, I believe him. I'm sure that's the case. It makes sense, right? There probably is something like a fiscal time bomb coming. But the solution for that is we need to, how he puts it as protect education. But what that really means is we need to put more money into education. So we have a deficit. We have a lack of tax dollars. And his solution is we're going to use more tax dollars to, help this education thing, which I've gone over plenty of times in this podcast. Education is meaningless. In the age of technology and AI, and it's just a crony, corrupt system. It's useless. But look, let's even take it from the point of view that I think he's trying to illustrate, which is like we have this surplus, this amount of money that we are dipping into. And let's say that the solution is we need to take more of that money and put it into education, which in theory would maybe prevent taxpayers from having to do that. This is why I talk about when I say government's a Band-Aid solution. That's just a bigger Band-Aid. Okay, you're going to put money aside from that. What's going to happen afterwards? What's going to happen when the money runs out for that? You're going to have the same problem. And then what's the solution for that going to be? And then you're going to increase taxes. Then you're going to make everything more expensive. Then we're going to see Des Moines become California, New York, etc., or Iowa, I should say, become California, New York, Colorado, Washington. All these states that have turned into shitholes because of increased taxes, because of Democratic policies like Rob Sanders promoting, like increasing education, increasing Medicaid. The thing is that they don't actually help. They just don't. They don't actually help. They just make everything more expensive. And I just, especially, I could understand it. I can wrap my head around it from the Medicare angle, but for the education angle, it's just stupid. It's just fucking stupid. Like there's a, in today's day and age, more than ever before in history, there's a very clear private option to navigate education. You literally have AI. You literally have technology. Every school district, every school that you go to in the state of Iowa would crumble against a phone. A phone would take any one of those educators down because they just can't compete, and that's okay. So, you know what I think would be great? If he really wants to address this fiscal time bomb, I don't know, do what Trump originally did, which is defund education, strip education. Maybe make it something that the public doesn't have to pay for. Make it something that you privately can pay for. That would be a far better and fiscally better solution. But this would go against his party's, messaging, what he wants to do, this draconian and this actually, we'll go into this in the clip. He not only doubles down, but triples down the idea of not getting rid of the voucher program, but actually just increasing restrictions on it. It's like, no, dude, like the voucher program was terrible. It was a terrible idea. It was never a good idea to put public taxpayer money into private education. Like that's just like, no, I'm totally against that. We should not be doing that. And it would be really easy. It would be so easy for him to just say, we just need to get rid of that. I think a lot of people will be on board for that. But he's not even willing to do that. He is, in this interview, and we'll get into it, but he's tripling down on the idea that we need to just keep this thing afloat. And it's just obvious. It's just obvious what he's doing. But shut up, Cat. Let's play it.
That means putting income limits on the school vouchers program. The wealthiest people in the state of Iowa who don't shape their budget around being able to afford private school tuition shouldn't be getting money from taxpayers for private school tuition.
So get rid of it. So get rid of it. Like, yeah, they shouldn't be getting it. So get rid of the fucking thing. But no, he wants to keep it. He wants to keep it, and he wants to do this thing where he's going to regulate it, which isn't going to work. You're not going to, and if it's going to work, tell us how it's going to work. Tell us what you're going to do. Tell us what you're going to do with the Des Moines public school system after this whole thing with Ian Roberts. Tell us what's going to happen. Tell us the steps that you're going to take to actually hold these people accountable, to actually make this thing, to actually regulate this, to actually audit these people. I'm waiting. Let me know when that happens. It's just so obvious what he's doing. Sorry. I'm a boomer, man.
We should have audits of the program. We should have rules for how the money gets spent, right? This is the same thing as you and I, if we're driving down the street and we look in the rearview mirror and there's a police officer behind us, we pay a little bit more attention to the rules. Let's put that police officer in the rearview mirror just the same way that officer is there for public schools, for the private schools that are spending public dollars.
Because we need rules. We need rules. That's just a terrible analogy, because this is how leftists like to do it, right? They like to paint the cop as being the unbiased party. And that never happens. What's really going to happen is if Rob Sand actually does this and continues to have, or like has restrictions or regulations on this school voucher program, the elite is still going to win at the end of the day. They're still going to find a loophole. They're still going to find a way to, profit off that system. And the people who are going to pay are the very same people that he is supposedly protecting. Let's finish this clip up and we'll move on. Two guys. I've been off for a week, okay? That means I don't know what's going on.
And let's make it so that if you want to take public money, fine, you take the public, just like a public school would. These things would reduce the amount of money that we are wasting and make it actually effective, much more effectively spent money in the program.
That doesn't even make any sense. Let's replay that. What'd he say?
Just the same way that officer is there for public schools, for the private schools that are spending public dollars. And let's make it so that if you want to take public money, fine, you take the public, just like a public school would.
Oh, he's talking. Yeah, okay. He's talking about that. I thought he was saying that like the constituents can take public money. I'm like, okay, like how is that a good thing? But again, this is such like a. This is such. We've already gone over this, but it's worth repeating. Like this is how he likes to paint private schools, that like they just discriminate against people. And they're just like, oh, we have this elite class of people that we are only going to educate. We're not going to educate other people. The thing that makes them discriminate is money. So like if you wanted to go to some private school in Iowa and you had the money to do it, they would take you. They're not going to say like, oh, well, XYZ, we're not going to take you. They're not going to not take you because you're Jewish, okay? It's not the 70s, okay? Like, we've advanced in society. This is not what's going to happen. I guess maybe. Honestly, though, even religious schools will take people who are not of that creed because, there's money to be made. And these things like public schools, these things like, these regulatory type of things are exactly what makes things more expensive in the first place. So again, he's not addressing the issue. He just wants this draconian thing where private schools become public schools. Like he's literally doing the thing. Like this is the thing. He praises it to be this thing that is like, oh, I'm actually going against Kim Reynolds because she put up this voucher program that was really that really helped the elite or the whatever XYZ. And he's like going further with it. This is just like what people who support him don't understand. Like he's not reversing what Kim Reynolds did. He's like taking it a step further. The problem with what Kim Reynolds did with the school voucher program is that you are essentially making private schools public. And what Rob Sand wants to do is he wants to do more of that. How does that make any fucking sense?